Dear Venerable Sisters and Brothers, Dhamma friends, this is our retreat number 122nd, English medium, and today is the first day we are going to have a question and answer session. Today is the first day, I'll give a little introduction or briefing about the nature of the session. By now, as retreatants, you would have received the basic precepts, basic instructions for meditation, how to sit, how to walk, and how to do mindfulness in the day-to-day activities. And together with that, some rules and regulations pertaining to this center as well as for this retreat. So all these three, I am under the impression already now given as a treatment so far. So in this question and answer session, anything not clear regarding to one's own precepts, we may take it as a discussion, as a question, or as a topic. Or anything pertaining to the basic instructions given with respect to sitting meditation, walking meditation and day-to-day, also invited. And any question regarding the rules and regulation, timetable, and the familiarization information, you may raise the question. That is to prevent talking each other. If anything available, you may just write it and put it to the questions or box allocated over the question. This is regarding the general situation, and the primary task of this question and answer session is for the interviews. Whenever you are practicing anything to be clarified, any difficult situation, you may write it as an interview report. That's the main topic. Or these things that I mentioned was to keep the noble silence. And that each and everyone can take part in two ways. One thing is you can write a question and put into the box. The other one is, if time permits, you can directly talk to the mic. And if when the session is going on, if someone wish to talk, please raise the hand, then we can pass the mic so that you can give your impression, your topic or your question. And with all, we are going to take 1 hour. And in addition to that, for the last maybe 10 retreats, we have refined the way one can write a interview report or question. That took place pragmatically, after giving the basic instructions. Still some yogis are asking irrelevant questions relating to the other methodologies, question related to the past experience, question related to the general knowledge. I used to cut off everything in order to keep the track. And then we refine the instructions, and still it is going on. And accordingly, we have given some responsibilities to the retreat organizer. He or she must read everything before presenting. If something is not related to your practice, related to your precepts, not related to your basic instructions and the rules, that is being not presented to the session. Instead, the retreat organizer will consult, meet the particular person who has written, and teach them. This is the way we are going to streamline questions, and therefore nothing thrown away, but these things will be retreat organizer will be handling, balance will be presented, and then one will read. Then we will start the question and answer. And this is just general basic instructions to start. So having given that, I would like to invite now to start the session with already written questions, please.
Venerable Bhante, question about walking meditation. How important is it to verbally label what is happening? Lifting, etc. it feels that I am more in the head than in the experience itself. When I put words on what I experience during sitting meditation, I experience tranquility. If I let go of the labeling words, after some time and only concentrate on the abdomen or whole body breathing. Thank you.
So this labeling or naming, known as a technique in order to forward your mind for put into your mind into the desired object. If the mind is naturally going into that, you can do away with this technique. So therefore you have to understand this vitakka or the applying thought is to direct your mind to the desired object, so that the practical part of that vitakka is labeling it, naming it. For example, when you are walking, when the left leg is moving, if the mind is wandering everywhere, and if you wish to focus to the leg in action that is left, you note it as left, left, left. Or one time, or two times, or three times. And whenever your weight is gone to the right side, you label it, name it as right, right. But if the mind is naturally going to left and the right, not necessary. So therefore don't take it as a burden, it's a tool. And even the mind is very obedient and going to the left and the right, you may do away with noting, but later if the mind is disobedient, you may reuse it, knowing its utility value. So therefore it's a kind of a invention by Venerable Mahasisayado, and it gave a tool for yogis to tame the mind and advert the mind directed to the desired object. So sometimes you can use it, but it is not your final destiny, it is one of the tools. So as the writer is indicating, without labeling, mind is still going to the object and calm and quiet. Easily he or she can do away with labeling, but understand, when your mind is disobedient only, you may use it, and this is not the only technique when the mind is disobedient. So with within this limited capacity, either you use or not, it depends on the circumstances.
Second question. Namo Buddhaya. Thanks for granting me this great opportunity. Even though I am trying to observe my breath in and out, since the movement of this of the belly is more prominently felt, I tend to observe that better. Therefore, my primary object is the rising and falling of the abdomen. The voices of the workers is a little disturbing at times. Thanks for all your services and kindness.
This is also something related to the basic introduction. That is, when you are sitting, this particular person is obsessed with the idea that I must search for the in-breath and out-breath. That basic misunderstanding, please do away with. In order to help promote, I would suggest, when you are sitting, first be aware, I am not standing, I am not walking, I am not sleeping, I am sitting. As far as the mind is sitting posture, you are 100% full marks in mindfulness, whether you with the breath or the abdomen rising and falling. So first and foremost, bring the attention to your posture. That means mind is mindful. And then when the mind is in your posture, same thing you can apply to the walking also. But I am taking the example. And see what is most prominent. Don't go with the preconceived ideas. There is a bane poison in the meditation. That is what you call regimentation. Meditation is bring the attention, bring the mindfulness, bring the diligence to the posture, make posture very comfortable, very relaxed and symmetrical. Do it with your body knowledge and just see what is happening. Don't say this, then there is no complaint. That is not there, that is too much prominent. No. Whatever may the prominent thing will be, grasp the mind. That is the path. So therefore, the basics are in the basic instructions. So you have to, after doing this mistake and after getting this clarified, again you have to listen to the basic instructions. Basic instructions are very clear, very straightforward. You sit, be aware of the sit and see what is happening. Report what is happening as it is without prejudgmental or preconceived ideas. That is there or that is not there, that is prominent or this is prominent. That indicates the basic clarity is not there. And that is the basic main purpose of this question and answer session, in order to make this line straight. And then you may find meditation will be easier than not clear situation.
The third question. During sitting meditation, I managed to stay focused on primary object, stroke upper lip, for only about 5 minutes. Before I get my mind to stay focused on one area of the body, my thoughts become dull. Then my thinking get overshadowed or hijacked by unresolved issue. In this thought, I tend to plan how to punish another person who has taken advantage of me, my generosity. How do I overcome this situation?
So what I heard, the primary object is somewhere belly, that means rising and falling may be. The secondary object is thinking. Okay, now the problem is your desires, your attention, your focus is on the primary object, but the mind is jumping, wandering, daydreaming on the thinking. So both of them are there. So if that particular person can give me a evidence, while you are in the belly, rising and falling, while you are in thinking, are you sure whether you are sitting? If that is the case, the way out is there. If you are losing the touch to the posture, then only it must be a question. While you are thinking, if you can make sure I am sitting, not walking, not standing, not sleeping, well and done, well and good. But even if you do not know, even if you have no way to verify whether you are sitting, then only it is a problem. Is that, am I privileged to get that remark from the person who has written, then it will be very revealing.
Yeah, so, I don't think I am aware of that.
So, wait a minute, we'll pass the message, my mic. So my question is, while you are in the primary object or secondary object, are you sure you are in the sitting posture or that is also gone?
I believe that I have lost the thought.
Lost the
sitting.
So therefore, don't worry about the belly, don't worry about the thought. Whenever it's happening, you must verify, that is your way of confidence, can I be aware that I am sitting? While happening in breath and out breath, or rising and falling, or in thinking. So that don't give up everything. Instead, amidst of thinking, see still can I be aware that I am walking or I am sitting, whatever may be. So don't make the belly as your reference point. It will be very sharp. Your failure is much. Rather than you take a big object like sitting, easier to go back. That does not indicate, that does not make any change to your thinking. But it's a kind of a confidence. The thinking cannot cut off you from the relationship with the sitting posture. Then you develop confidence. And then I will admit the first question, where you can note when the rising and falling happen, note it vigorously. So that mind will lose the thinking and come back. So the vigorous noting and pragmatic noting is to give you a kind of a maneuverance, kind of a controlling and giving more favor to the object, more desirable. And the technique that I given to be aware of the sitting is to give more confidence. So therefore use these two techniques and there may be some response positively.
Thank you.
Fourth question. Nissarana, Most Venerable Bhante, after session of walking meditation, sit-down meditation was commenced. Primary object is here, now I am. Soon after, various characteristics of elements were observed. They were like in an orchestra, but no doers.
No?
Doers.
No doers.
Doers. They appeared, existed for a while and disappeared. Within one such activity, brief periods of emptiness were observed. In between, sometimes long gaps of emptiness were observed, with no thoughts or perceptions. After about 30 minutes, the solidity of the body was lost. It was merged with the surrounding air. Only perceptions of movements related to elements were felt. Occasionally thoughts appeared. Consciousness was observed by the side of the body. After a while, a feeling of laughter and then a cry was observed. Then no such feelings, very empty and listless. I appreciate your discussions. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be with you always.
If I gather the question, it says that whenever the elements are working, so orchestra is there is no doers. But when latter part it says the laughter and the cry happen, there's a doer is there. So if you can see the laughter and the cry also just orchestra, part and parcel of the orchestra without me, without mind, without myself, still it's a observation of the second person rather than the I myself. So slowly you will understand the already edited drama is going on. You are just a spectator, distance observer, things are happening. Whenever you recognize I am laughing, I am crying only, you get emotionally connected, emotionally involved, or tension or frustration can happen. So early part of the essay, it says things are happening, I can observe, here now I am sitting, and elementary characteristics are coming and playing. Orchestra is going on. And that is also melody is there. The harmony is there. Only thing is no doer. But when laughter happens, you can understand contrast. I is happening. Cry, when you are crying, I happens. If that also, if you can consider as a part and parcel of the orchestra, then that is we get a distance from the phenomena. So you won't get carried away by emotions or frustration. So you can see it's like a dream. It's like a teledrama. And you are the main actor, but you became a spectator. So that is the way to give an answer for this kind of thing. So therefore try to be here and now, not only in sitting, but in walking, day-to-day activities also. Whatever there happens, don't claim, just disclaim. You don't own it, just disavow. And then you see they are happening in a completely melodious, completely in a rhythmic way. It is always like a aesthetic thing. Soon you recognize only the problem happen. So follow the early part of the essay throughout, and then that will be a way out for this kind of a tension we are always assuming.
Dear Venerable Sir, we have at least 50%. Dear Venerable Sir, after a few sessions of walking and seated meditation, alternatively this morning I sat down for another session of seated meditation. I sat down and spend a few minutes to establish a comfortable seated posture. I then focused on my breath, the primary object of meditation. I observed in breath around the aim of my the out-breath air coming. I observed in breath around the it is not clear. I continued to focus attention on breath, and at one stage I felt a slight vibratory sensation on my foot, Yatipatula, in between the toes and the arch, left side, and around and around. I continued to keep my attention on breath, and after some time I felt my breathing was shallow and couldn't distinguish in breath from out breath. I also heard some people talking outside the meditation hall, right side. I also had some birds signing. I don't think I got distracted. I continued observing my breath. Then I saw a small rainbow vertically coming between the sky and mountain in front. After that, it went away, and I saw forest in front of me, very green, no leaves were visible. Then I heard the 11:15 and bell slightly, and opened my eyes. My question is, how can you explain these visuals that I experienced? Should I come out of my meditation when I see similar things once before? That's all.
So the essay won't explain whether it's an imaginary thing or reality. Whatever it is not clear. So can that particular person make sure, it pertains to the question, the visual object is a reality or it's a mind-made thing in the closed-eye situation, then I can grasp the point, otherwise I can't. Was it a realistic thing, the rainbow and all the kind of thing, or it's a mind-made?
Venerable Sir, I think it is mind-made. It is, I just saw this and it didn't happen in real, of course. So it was just a passing visual, but I continued to focus my attention on my breath, and this, in fact, the green forest was around me, and then I heard the bell ringing, and I noticed it was 11:15, and I...
So that is very clearly you have to indicate the forest green is reality or mind-made. The rainbow, your mind-made or reality, otherwise the listener can't get message. But anyway, you are confident enough, whatever may be, your prime task is to be with the breath as far as it is available. So therefore, even if it is a realistic visual thing, or whether it's a mind-made, no problem. Because you know your solace, you know the oasis, you know your refuge. So let them happen. Maybe reality or visual things or mind-made. So you can take the primary object as your pivotal point. Whenever you come and touch a primary object, you can verify it is reality. So there may be some visual things, reality or mind-made. But later, When you are developing, knowing that any time you can go to the breath, still visual thing can happen, you can entertain it. Once the confidence gain, then you can understand how mind is happy with this object which is full of defilements, and how it is not happy with the object which is purity. This is the mind. So at the beginning, for the safety's sake, it says, don't entertain the object with this visual thing and interesting and attractive thing. You just be with the primary object. Once you gain the confidence, so to say, even though it is distracting, I can be aware with the breath like confidence, then you can let that visual things or actual seeing thing happen, and you can understand my mind by its likings and disliking, by its habitual way. It is a pleasure-seeking principle, always going to the more attractive, more pleasurable thing. That means even though your primary object gives the safety, even if it is verifiable, mind is dreaming of. So later you may understand, if you let the mind to loose, it never consider about the well-being of the person. It's always indulgence. So you have to verily understand it. So you at the brim. So at the beginning, just take the refuge of the primary object till you develop the confidence. Once developed, let it loose. Let mind to fly, send kites. Knowing that anytime you can come back to the primary object, then you see the very mind that you are protecting day and night, the very mind you are feeding day and night, never think about your well-being. It's always in sensuous gratification. It's always in the varietal entertainment, incessant way. Unless otherwise such a reference point, non-meditators know bookkeeping. They don't know how much it is sending kites. But now, since we have a certain amount of reference point or benchmark is available due to our past experience, due to our investment of the mindfulness, then we can understand how the mind is going on this variety entertainment, and then you can't find any blame in others' behavior. Exactly your mind is others also sharing. So that is how you understand the restraining of the mind, not the restrainment of the body and physical and the verbal behavior. The mental behavior, you have to map it. You have to get the data by bookkeeping, and after keeping only you will understand it is quite incredible. It's untrustworthy. It is such a volatile thing. But that knowledge is not a bad thing. Understanding it is volatile, understanding it is non-governable, understanding it is not beyond control, is not negative. It is a positive thing. It is not available on the book. It is not available by wish. It is not available by faith. You have to develop. But many people are afraid of, see that my mind is not under control. See that no governability. But the point that I am making is that very seeing, very understanding is very, very important. You have to do it under your very nose when it is happening. So repeating, I am, at the beginning, get the confidence with the primary object. Once the confidence matured, let this visual thing happen. Desirable or undesirable, visual or reality, and see how the untrained mind is always to the juicy part, the sappy part, the pleasure principle part. Is the point clear?
Yes, sir. I really appreciate the very clear answer. Thank you.
So, other than those questions, the organizer, Madam Lakshmi Desoisa, has made a small note. I'll read it out. Dear Venerable Sir, we have at least 50% new retreats on this retreat. Please help me to advise them to ask questions without fear and explain the purpose and benefits of the Kamatahan to them, so I can encourage them better. Much merit to you, Metta. Lakshmi.
Okay, if the time permits, we can go knowing that we are beyond the boundaries. But if the time is limited, I will only go for the within the boundaries. So if in order to promote the dialogue, in order to promote this discussion. Now we have another 25 minutes since all the written questions are finished. So you have anything you feel like asking? As far as Lakshmi is suggesting, I am ready to second it. I don't know whether Lakshmi is taking as she is as a beginner or as a senior meditator. Yeah, there's someone has to pass the mic.
Most Venerable Bhante, with your permission, I'm not a beginner, but can I ask a question from
Yes, yes.
This is regarding my morality. Sometimes at home I observe Atasil during working days, and unintentionally the songs come into my mind and just go on singing. And I just want to know, can you please explain regarding the precept of Nachagita Vadita? That is one question. My second question, sometimes I break all precepts, and when such thing happens, am I to observe all 8 precepts or am I to observe the broken precept? Thank you.
Usually we do it in a whole package. And whenever it is broken, again we reinstall or administer 8 precepts. So, because it is free of charge. Nothing to give so much of account for, only to recharge the broken one. So that is the tradition, it is happening. And the second part regarding the Nachagita Vadita is, whether you look or whether you see. That's the 2 events. When you are sitting in a forest maybe, there may be some panoramic thing passing by, and it is not organized by you and they are not intent to you, so it may be going there. So we call it, you just see. So sometimes you switch on the television and look into these jokes and all the kind of, so you have to make sure what is your intention. It happen unintentionally as a seeing, or intentionally you look at. So Nachagita Vadita Visuka Dasana is only to the looking at. But the world we are living is full of drama. So therefore when it is happening, if you are intentionally looking, you are volitionally you get involved, you are answerable. If you happen to see, it is not your main thing when you are doing, if you happen to see, main thing is not to worry, because you have to make sure it is not my intention. So therefore, you must be mindful when such a thing happen, as to make it clear whether it's a looking or seeing, listening or hearing. Or these 2 are very clear, passive and active voice. So that you have to make sure. Then only analyze it and see whether you have broken it or not. I think two points you had to, 2 points, 2 parts in your question. One thing is taking precepts whole together as a bunch of 8 or not. That is also, traditionally it says yes, take 8. And as far as the Nachagita Vadita is, whether you are looking, you are organizing and looking and showing, you are accumulating bad merits, bad demerits. But if something happening and on the way, by the way, if you have happened to see, don't worry, because it is not none of your intention. Therefore you have to make sure volitional involvement, intentional involvement.
Venerable Bhante, these past few months, whenever I sit down to meditate and focus on the breath, the vibrations in my head get so intense that I feel as if I could remove my head and put it aside because it is so uncomfortable. How do I deal with that?
So is it related with the concentrated mind or even unconcentrated, concentrated day-to-day mind? Can you be aware of that vibration?
Yes, even if I focus on saying something on the newspaper, it comes.
So have you ever tried, when the mind is not focused, when the mind is normal day-to-day activities, what happened to that vibration?
If I'm very involved in some lot of work, physical work, then it's not there. But if my mind is sort of focused on something, then the vibrations.
So therefore, you have to understand the vibration is a result of your focus.
Yes.
So that problem is that vibration is unbearable.
Yes.
Or is it unbearable, or is it just a doubt or question?
It's unbearable, so much so that I sometimes have to lie down.
I would suggest, even if you are not paying attention, the vibration is throughout there. But your mind is other directed. Yesterday, tomorrow, wherever it may be. So whenever the mind is inside, inwardly, this vibration happens. That is why we hate the present moment. Throughout the samsara, what we have done is, we have hate the present moment. Because it is giving kind of a signal, quite boring, quite monotonous, quite doubtful, quite torturing, quite unsafe. So that is what the truth of suffering. So instead what we do is, we think about other people, other places, yesterday and tomorrow, they are very happy and you can make complaint and kind of thing. So Venerable Sariputta, to pinpoint it, it says when you are cut off yesterday, when you cut off tomorrow, when you cut off other people and other places, mind is forced to see here and now. Whatever you see is truth of suffering. So you complain. So non-meditators, nothing to complain because they never concentrate. They have in the past, future, other places and other people. So they do not know, whenever the mind come back home, this is what it is happening. This is what you call a friction. This is what the unsatisfactoriness. So, Venerable Sariputta says there are 4 characteristics whenever the truth of suffering. That means it is not personal suffering. It's a broader suffering. That's what you call the friction in the machine. As far as the machine is working, friction is there. So it is torturing, it's burning, it's a multifaceted and never incessant changes. So whenever such a thing happens, we do hobbies. We read, we go other places and associate other people in order to avoid it. So, but the commentators later, they used to say, though it is suffering, it is never unbearable. Never go unbearable. Avalokya made the situation clear. If you go prepared, it is not unbearable. If you consider it as a mistake, if you consider it as a torturing, if you consider it as a punishment, if you consider it as a disheartening, then self-negation happens. People can commit suicide. But if you go prepared, this is the truth of suffering. This is the noble truth of suffering. Whatever you try to escape it, temporarily you can push it off, but whenever you are mindful inside, that is there. So different people report in different ways. Some people say it's a vibration. Some people say it is an incessant noise. Some people say it's a heaviness. And some people say it's a visual. And there's many facets. So therefore, unless otherwise you have a accepting an agreeable situation, it says it's a basic primordial energy, and that is the life continuum. As far as you are living, it is there. But in the teaching of the Buddha, it says, before your birth, it was there. After your death, it will be there. Whenever you claim this is me, you suffer. Whenever you disclaim this is what the samsara is, I will never come back to it. Whatever the form you come, you can hide it temporarily, but this is the truth. If you can see for the verification whether there are any female nature in the vibration or male nature, whether there is a beginning, the middle and the end of this vibration, whether it is coming through the eye or ear or nose or tongue or body or mind? Nowhere. Anyone can test it. But to test it, you have to forget about the rest of the world and come back to the inner core. When you're coming, that is there. As I mentioned, some people claim as the sound of silence. Some people say it's a visual object. Some people say vibration. Some people say heaviness, lightness. But whatever may be, this is a primordial energy. The moment you understand, this is the most unmanifested energy. So as far as you are there with it, no defilements. But it's naturally torturing. It's naturally burning. But if you go prepared, this is the truth of suffering. As far as I know the truth of suffering, in this given moment, no defilements. Because you are not verbally involved, not physically involved, not mentally involved. You are really with the reality. So how much time you can put up with it? So much so, you will be burning the least amount of fuel, and you will be disturbing least amount of psychologies, will be least frustrated as far as you are accepting it. So this is what you call ajanta, vasanta. But vasanta try to escape from it, telling it is unbearable, how to get rid of. Even I sometimes lie down, wherever you lie down, the energy, the vibration is there. So the day you make love or friendship with this one, it will no more disturbing. It's a very clear sign you are mindful. It's a very clear sign you are here and now. So it's a matter of go prepared. Not that you go prepared, it is fondly and loving and good. No. It's a friction. It's a suffering. But that is the reality. So whatever may be, you try to, you have done your task, you are responsible to earn it, but you do not know how to entertain it. So be prepared, let it happen. Anytime, then you can see whether you are lying down, whether you are standing, whether you are sitting, whether you are walking. Everywhere this is there. Sometimes it is changing the facets, as I mentioned, from light to the heaviness, light perception, sound, many things, but you may report it as a vibration. So this is the basic energy, so be friendly with it. So I would say, make that vibration your best friend. And see, whatever the way you try to push it off, it always be with you. I try to come to you. So therefore, best thing is to be prepared.
I have to just be aware of the vibration. Sometimes it's a sound, sometimes it's a vibration.
Yeah, you have to go prepared.
Just be aware, that's all.
Be aware, be prepared. Whenever it is happen, make it a point, I am mindful. I am here, I am now. And this is the sign. And then you see, it is already earned thing. It's an endowment. If you consider it as a punishment, it's a punishment, torturing. But if you consider it as an endowment, I have cornered it now due to the mindfulness, then you see it's an achievement or endowment. So then your attitude and your personality completely change from negative to positive, destructive to constructive.
So how do I proceed from there? Just be aware.
Yeah. Then you will never ask this question again.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante, this vibration that she's talking about, the mind is its own worst enemy. Is this the mind itself that's just creating a vibration as its own distraction because the mind hates to be calm? And when it gets to that calm state, it has to have something to entertain itself. So it creates, you can call it a hallucination or a vibration or whatever, however you choose to label it.
Don't try to make duality out of that. Accept this as one thing. Don't try to see whether it's mind made or mind. This is the totality. You are fully ready to accept it. Still your mind is making projections now out of this vibration. Then you are torturing yourself. Go prepared, accept it as the totality, wholeness.
And before you said something about having a way out. Is that So the way out is coming back to the physical for a reference point?
No, that is the sensuality. Sexual and sensual feeling means the way out.
The way out of what?
The way out of this vibration. Instead of being vibration, you try to see things, hear things, smell, taste, touch. That's a divert sensual pleasure. And the vibration is the totality. It's a unified, it's a primordial shape. And don't try to see duality. This is a mind-made, or it's an object, or it's a mind. Just see, just be with the vibration. Any other questions? Otherwise we are going to take this time for walking meditation. Provided there's no questions, this will be the end of the first question and answer session, and we'll be meeting again at 3 o'clock for a group sitting here. Thank you very much for the participation.